Good evening, I'm Julia and welcome to my garden. Finally, a little bit of sunshine. And I can finally, I think, quickly do my garden tour. It looks like the weather might just be kind to us. On the 15th of August, our August garden tour. I think we're going to start with sunflowers. I mean, how beautiful are they? This one, oh, they're gorgeous. I'm so happy I planted these. They are not claret. I've looked again at the seed packet and definitely the flower picture on the seed packet is of a dark red sunflower, but who cares? I mean, seriously, who cares? Look at those beauties. And there's one at the back there. I'm going to just stand on a stone while I film it for you. There's one at the back there. And that has got to be 8 or 9 feet tall. It's significantly bigger than all the rest. And it still hasn't flowered. It's got flower head on it, but it's not flowered yet. And these ones that are lower down and came earlier are done. But there are so many beautiful sunflowers on these plants. They're stunning. So, moving on. We'll be back, but moving on. Courgette plants, doing fine. Harvested day before yesterday, so got some courgettes coming on that. Got some on this one. Got some of the little yellow ones on this one. Oh, it's so squelchy. They're coming on okay. Need to get those in actually. I think those two. I'm at the bottom of the hill of my garden at the moment. It's wet. This is the brassica bed, as you would have guessed. I took out the purple sprouting broccoli. It was done. It was still giving little bits, but nothing worth keeping it in for. Well, next to give us stuff that we're not already getting are the sprouts, I think, and the cabbages. Cabbages are looking lovely. I'm not going to lift the net because there are still cabbage whites out and about. Still harvesting the curly kale. Sprouts down there somewhere are doing really well. Those are the earliest ones, and then there's some later ones down at that end with some later cabbages and some Cavolo Nero that I thought the bird's eaten but has recovered. Told you we'd be back. Beautiful sunflowers. The main crop potatoes, as you can see, have fallen over. No signs of disease, lots of signs of slugs and snails, lots of that, but no signs of disease. So I'm leaving them just a little bit longer. I have cut the homes off the end bucket, mostly because the one that's past this one on the very end, I think it was just a bit more exposed on that end and the slugs got it more. It was still getting a few leaves, but why stress it? Took the onions up. I didn't film it because they were just insignificant. I also took the garlic up for the same reason. Keeping them in the fridge before planting them does not work. They need the frosting. Mine did not split into cloves. They're going to go back in the ground in October and be left out over winter. I know that they may very well bolt next year because it will be their second season in the ground. So I might plant them at the front of the house in flower beds where if they bolt, I might just let them go and flower. In this bed next season, I'm not decided yet. But for the moment, I've got a little tuft of grass growing beautifully. I've got some, I think they're white Lisbon, spring onions still growing, and some Ishikura spring onions over there. And then in here we've got some purple sprouting broccoli, winter cabbages, Can't remember which variety. And then there are some snowball turnips. Just a few. The rest of the bed I'm going to probably manure and compost, and then put something in it for overwinter. Maybe I should make... No, I'm not going to make it my broad bean bed. I've got another place for that. These are already... I only planted them 2 weeks ago. And these are the Christmas potatoes that are going mental. They're loving this wet, warm weather. Carrots in tubs to go over winter. When the weather gets horrible, they'll be coming into the greenhouse. I've got 2 more spare tubs there. And then once I get all the potatoes up, I've got another 5 tubs there. And I will be doing things in them to take into the greenhouse and overwinter. Sacrificial stuff. The lettuce, the last of the lettuces. It might make it into the kitchen, or it might make it to the chickens, I'm not sure. Tomatoes that don't seem to be doing anything, except for this one has got something on it. 1 tomato. Yeah, just the one. Perfectly healthy plant. Look at it. Perfectly healthy plants. Just not producing. Which is delightful. This one's got a teeny weeny tomato on it. But I think possibly just the 1 tomato. Again, perfectly healthy looking plant, but not produced anything. I think my tomatoes got really hit by the bad weather in June. Just seen, bear with me, just seen some tiny tomatoes up there as well. So they're very lately earning their stripes, but far too late for me to do much with them. And this tomato plant has got a few on it there. This one is a Costoluto one, I think. Looks like it's a Costoluto Fiorentino. Very like the ones indoors that are the raft ones in the shapes. Just more fluted. If they make it, if we get an Indian summer, all well and good. If they don't make it, they've been disappointing, but they've proven they can do something. This is Ildi. Now, people have had Ildi online and they have been profusely productive. And mine are only just getting going. If we have an Indian summer, everybody, let's hope for an Indian summer. Then Julia's tomatoes can come to something. More tomatoes along here. Which ones are these? Sweet Baby, I think. Lots of them. Finally. Again, that June weather knocked them for 6. But finally, lots of baby tomatoes. If they'll actually come to anything, who knows? Fingers crossed for that Indian summer. This tomato plant got quite sick and is still quite sick, but has so many tomatoes on it that are looking really healthy. So I'm giving it a chance in case I'm mistaking what the sickness is. I'm not sure that I am though. The one next to it, perfectly healthy again, and with a cracking good tomato on it. Feeling like a very nice tomato, that. And a little one behind it. And then the plant next to it. Don't know if you can see because of the light. A wonky shaped one there. And then some nice ones up there. They're just late. And unfortunately, the weather up north doesn't easily allow for late tomatoes. But at the moment, despite the warmth and despite the rain, they're still looking very healthy. Zinnias, yeah. Had a rough start, so I'm just grateful for what I've got with them, really. Pretty. The dwarf Borlotto beans are doing the thing. Just some small, some much bigger. That's the same on all the plants. There's some nice sized ones and some smaller ones. The Blue Lake beans finally hitting the trellis and getting on with it a little bit. They were a experiment crop. They'll do it or they won't. I'm not bothered. And this was Blauhilde, which is getting higher, so I've got hopes for Blauhilde. We might get a bean or two off her. Same on this side with the dwarf borlates and the Blue Lake and the Blauhilde. I planted them late. If they do something, they do something. Cucumber, Market More, planted late, climbing, doing its thing. If I get something, I get something. If I don't, I don't. I've got indoor cucumbers, so that's fine. Later, these are very early planted Blauhilde. They were planted after the White Lady and before that Blauhilde. Those Blauhildes are much further on than these Blauhildes. These Blauhildes were free on the front of a magazine. Those ones I paid for. I'll be paying for them in the future. White Lady runner beans. Something keeps pinching the flowers. It's been the same all the way up to here. I've got a sneaky one there. I'm hoping it stops. It happened with the broad beans, so I'm hoping that it will stop now. The cobra beans are busily producing and doing quite nicely. I'm quite happy with those. I'm getting daily crops off them. I like them quite young and tender, so I pick them every day. And the same with the Cossid something. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on the screen. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of beans from these, which is exactly how I wanted it to be, right across the top of the arch. They're growing, and this side, now that I took out the broad beans, is actually catching up, and again we are still getting plenty beans from this side as well. I need to come out in a moment and harvest, but time's getting on, so I might leave it till the morning. And again, cobra beans here, doing really nicely. I put leeks in where I took out the broad beans. I think you'll remember that I wanted to keep it low and open so these beans and the tomatoes behind would get plenty of light, and that seems to be working. I've got some beetroots down here. Do you remember I sowed the mix pack of red, yellow, and I can't remember the other colour, a white beetroot, I think. French Atlas carrots that are growing away quite nicely down there, and the marigolds, of course, that I need to deadhead, but it's been so slippery down there I'm not going near. More Brussels sprouts. Peas doing very, very nicely. Those are the Hurst Green Shaft. It's absolutely laden with peas, just waiting for them to grow, and then I'll start harvesting that. They look like they're very promising. There's lots of peas going on in there. Hurrah! One last hurrah of peas before the autumn sets in. In the 4 foot by 4 foot bed, as you can see, sweet peas are still going absolutely stunningly. I'm picking these pretty much every other day, every 2 days at the very outside, and then they just keep putting on more and more flowers. These sunflowers are spent. I will be saving seeds from that. And this one's finally opened, and that again is supposed to be claret. Yeah, I don't think so, do you? It's showing the same signs of side shoots, but not claret. That was a packet of Thompson and Morgan seeds. The seed packet showed red sunflowers and they called them claret. So I think you would expect a red sunflower of a claret colour. On the plus side, that's quite tall, and its one next to it is even taller. It's not opened the flower head yet. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. And sweet peas doing magnificently. Also in here we've got, I think you might remember me putting leeks in here. They're quietly growing away in the middle of everything else, just quietly doing their thing. I've not done anything about weeding in this bed. That's not weeds, that's cosmos. But the density of the planting seems to be keeping the weeds at bay, which is grand. That cosmos needs deadheading desperately. Definitely, that's a tomorrow thing. Oh wow, a dragonfly just flew by. Beautiful. Okay, the sunflowers are actually growing through the middle of the sunflower leaves now. Like you do, like you do. Absolutely stunningly, look at that. That is Cleome. I've never grown it before. I grew it because Jazz from Alternative Smallholding mentioned it, showed a picture of it. I thought, pretty flower, I'll try it. Very awkward to germinate, but very well worth the effort. Beautiful. It does have friends, it's not the only one, but for now it's the only one. Strawberries, clearly, all spent loads and loads of runners from them that are going to get taken off and potted up. I can't do the doing it in the soil thing because they're hung, so I'm just going to cut them off, and the ones that have already got roots will be fine, and the ones that haven't won't be, and that's the way of it. But I've got enough of them to do things with. It's fine. Beetroot. Still with the beetroot. Still with the beetroot. It is starting to make beetroot now. It's not just all foliage anymore. Carrots doing fine, getting decent size on them. Certainly since I put this little bit of netting on, whatever it was that was nibbling at them stopped. Hurrah! This sorry mess is going to be a new bed, a big new bed. It's got cardboard, grass cuttings, all the bits that you'd normally put in the compost, all the pods from the peas and beans, everything you'd normally put in the compost, along with a lot of cardboard and a lot of grass cuttings. More needed, but the grass is due for cutting again, so that'll be that sorted. And it's doing a really good job. It's suppressing the weeds. I'm gonna, once I've got enough stuff on it, hello. Once I've got enough stuff piled on it, I'm going to cover it in compost. Well, another layer of cardboard, I think, then compost, and take it from there. All the tall peas came out. We had all the peas off them that they were going to give us. Took them out. Got to do a good weeding underneath them, and that's another bed ready for some things for the autumn, or for a good mulching to get it through the winter. And I need to edge it still need to edge it. I've been meaning to do that for months now. This is a cardboard that my son was supposed to put on top of here the other day, but he couldn't do it. He just lobbed it at the side, like you do when you're 17. Thanks, Charles. I'll do it, shall I? There's that dragonfly again. Ah, beautiful. I mean, dive bomb by the dragonflies. Stunning. Look at that. Ah, I love living here. Have I told you before? I really love living here. I come out every day and I get to see this beautiful place. Haha, table. This hedgerow, it's only little. For some strange reason it runs across the back of the house. I think, looking at our deeds, this plot of land was bought within the last 10 years. So this will have been the edge to the back of the house up until then. It's in the way. It's blocking me from having another bed. So you know where it's got to happen? It's got to go. But what I will be doing is replacing it with a longer hedge elsewhere of native plants to replace it with. There's the dragonfly back again. I don't want to move. I want it to fly towards me. Come on, dragonfly, where are you, mate? No, I think it's gone. Oh, that's a shame. It's so beautiful. Oh, here it is. Did you see it? I don't know if you saw it. It's beautiful, mate. It's beautiful. Here it comes. Where's it gone now? So lucky to have all this wildlife around us. Crazy car always comes down that bit of rubbish road. Anyway. Yes, new bed. Doesn't look like it, does it? Looks like a shambles. But it is going to be a new bed. That lettuce looks like dragonfly again. That lettuce looks like it's actually trying to grow in the middle of where it should not be growing. Let's go on and move it. Put it out of its illusions that this is a place to grow, because this is not. No, it's not trying to grow. This is not a place to grow. This is a place to die, decompose, make the ground rich, and make a new veggie bed. Oh, dragonfly! Right by my feet. Wow. Close encounters of a natural kind. Okay, going through. Let's go through. Yellow flag irises have all finished for the season. You can see their seed pods. You can see their seed pods there, being very architectural and interesting. You can see the grass being very long and annoying. Not annoying. I don't know what these are called. They were here last year. They're small, between 12 and 18 inches high. And very, very pretty. And they just grow in this area. And I'll let them. And that's the other side of the hedge that's got to go. Let's carry on. I think the dragonfly is playing with me. I think it's trying to come with me wherever I go around the garden. Okay, let's have a look at the hydrangeas. Cherries, obviously, all gone. Pears, growing slowly. I don't think they're going to come to anything. But the hydrangeas, they're beautiful, aren't they? Really, really stunning. Right, they are enormous flower heads. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a big bush. Big, enormous hydrangea. And I cut that down a lot this spring. And I just think it's beautiful. Like I said, the pears are growing, but slowly. I don't know that they'll come to much, but well, yeah, we're August. No, actually, they've grown quite a lot. Alright, we'll leave them alone. Another car coming down the drive. That over there is the other hydrangea that's the same colour as the one at this side. Does anybody out there know the name of this? It's pendulous, deep maroon colour, gets berries under the bracts and these little flowers at the ends, and they seem to start short and then keep elongating. I thought I knew what it was called, but I'm not sure anymore. Just wondering if anybody else out there has got any ideas about what this interesting thing is. It's very prolific in its flowering, and it's beautiful. I love it. Dahlias. These are the dahlia pots that I did from cuttings. You might remember me planting them up. They're pretty. Simple and cheap, but pretty. And they fill these pots and they look very pretty going up. If I could picture them. They look really lovely going up the steps up to the house. They're gorgeous. Who else is gorgeous, Harley? Are you gorgeous? Are you gorgeous? Are you gorgeous, boy? Yes, you are. Come here. Come here. Come on. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Pyjama gardening look. Well, it's an evening stroll around the garden. Look at the Cleatris. They're looking very splendid. They're a funny little plant, aren't they? They flower from the top downwards. They're gorgeous. I've always liked those. Very special plants. And there's a very busy bee, busily at work in those dahlias. There we go. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Indeed it is. How pretty are they? And the last thing to show you before we're done is the herb bed. Not looking an awful lot like a herb bed, looking very much, isn't it, like a flower bed? It's because it's a little bit of a mixture of the two. So we've got flowers, you know, all the flowers, I've watched you through it before, all doing really well, as well as the herbs in between. A stunning Cleome. That's pretty, ain't it? That's what's left of the lobelia, the very tall lobelia that I've got. Something ate all the bottoms of it. Very devastating. I'll be netting it next year. That's a scabious looking absolutely gorgeous down there. So we've got the chives, there's a thyme, there's the bay, chives, sage. I need to take the sage off that and get it through the dehydrator. And then we've got some oreganos and things in there as well somewhere. It's quite a pretty bed, I think. I think it's made quite a pretty bed. It's quite flowery, quite full, a bit flouncy. I like that. Cottagey. Oh, it's cottagey, isn't it? It is. I love it. Look at those antirrhinums. Aren't they pretty colours? Beautiful. As a gardener down south would say. Beautiful.